live and on your side. This is WSAV News 3 today at 6.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, August 19th. I'm Kim Gusby.
And I'm Ben Katko. Thanks for joining us here on News 3 today.
Starting off this morning with our forecast first, so you know what that means.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot. Storm Team 3 meteorologist Alyssa Carsley is in the Weather Center with our forecast. And hot is an understatement.
Yeah, I've been searching for about the last month and a half for a better word, but at this point, it's just hot.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Here we go. Once again on a repeat, though we are already tracking some small improvements, especially with our heat alerts map. Notice it's not nearly as colorful this morning. We're only looking at that heat advisory confined to our coastal communities where we had that extreme heat warning yesterday. So that extreme heat warning has been dropped, seeing that heat advisory with feel-like temperatures up to around 111 degrees. But farther inland, we don't have that heat advisory, but everyone across the area should still practice the heat safety, staying cool, staying hydrated, and limiting your time outside because it's still hot, it's still humid, with most of our feel-like temperatures around 105 to 110 degrees. Taking away the humidity, and of course, once again, here we go, trying to reach 100 degrees here in Savannah for that high temperature, jumping into the 90s as early as 11 o'clock this morning, up to 99 degrees for the high temperature today here in Savannah. That's also the record high temperature. And then 100 degrees across Glenville, Hinesville, as well as in Darien. So coming up in just around 10 minutes, we'll talk about how more improvements are on the way as we head into the weekend.
Thank you, Alyssa. Several local cities, including Savannah and Hinesville, are providing cooling centers so everyone has a way to get out of the heat. For a list of locations in the Coastal Empire and Low Country, go to our website, wsav.com/cooling centers.
And make sure you download the WSAV Weather Now app. You'll be able to keep track of the heat anywhere you are today. It's a free download in your app store.
Breaking overnight, we are working to learn more this morning after a heavy police presence last night at Fraser Homes Apartments. Several Savannah police units were seen in the area. As always, we'll keep you updated on air and online as new information becomes available.
Developing now, one person's in custody while a second suspect is on the run following a shooting near Windsor Forest High School Tuesday afternoon. Multiple agencies responded to the area of Largo Drive and Woodley Road, including Savannah Police, the Chatham County Sheriff's Office, and the Board of Education Police. According to SPD, around 3 o'clock, two groups of people got into an altercation, resulting in one man being hospitalized with serious injuries. Georgia Southern also put out an alert to the Armstrong campus asking for help finding two suspects who were last seen at the Joseph Landings apartment complex. So far, one suspect has been found. Savannah police are leading that investigation. If you have any information about the shooting, you are asked to make a call to Crime Stoppers.
An investigation is underway after the Chatham County Police Department says human remains were found at a construction site Sunday. Police were dispatched to the East President Street and Wallstrom Road area after they received information from Crime Stoppers that the remains were visible at the work site. Police say they believe the remains are likely historical in nature and not related to a crime. The coroner's office will make the final verdict on whether the findings should be treated as a criminal investigation.
Over in the Low Country, the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help identifying the man you see here. Authorities say they'd like to speak with him in connection to their investigation of the July 4th shooting at Coligny Beach on Hilton Head. If you recognize that person, you can contact Crime Stoppers of Beaufort County at 844-847-7238.
Continuing coverage now, despite local Low Country attorney Alec Murdoch's legal team has now changed their minds about a new location for his murder trial.
Carlton County is poison. I don't think he, with a straight face, the state would argue that we should go back to Carlton County.
Heard from Dick Hart-Pullian making his case against keeping the trial in Colleton County. In their latest motion, the defense wants to move the case to Richland County. That would limit the number of attorneys, court staff, and witnesses who need hotel rooms because they already live there. Friday, the defense spent more than an hour arguing for Charleston County to host the retrial. Prosecutors said that would cost too much money and cause logistical issues. Judge Deborah McCaslin will make the final decision on a venue for the trial, which is scheduled to start on April 5th.
Residents packed a meeting in Statesboro last night as city council members voted on a rezoning request that would allow a data center inside the city limits. WSAV was the only local TV station in the room during that vote. In a deadlocked vote, Statesboro Mayor Jonathan McCullough broke a tie to approve the rezoning request off of Burkhalter Road. Residents overfilled the room and even packed outside City Hall when capacity was reached. After the vote, residents gathered to share their dissent, shouting, "Vote them out." The next steps are now up to the developer, who must submit a special use permit application to move that project forward.
That'll have to go back to the Planning Commission and the City Council, but the first thing staff's going to do is tear into every drop of documentation in relation to their special use permit to ensure that it meets the guidelines established in our ordinance.
That ordinance outlines what data centers will be allowed under a special use permit. It was passed earlier this year in June. To read the ordinance, you can go to our website, WSAV.com.
WSAV is your local election headquarters. Early voting begins this morning in South Carolina's special Republican primary runoff for U.S. Senate.
You have 3 days now to vote before Election Day, which is next Tuesday. There are some important rules, though, you need to know before you head out to the polls. WSAV's Genevieve Lund live in our newsroom with more. Genevieve, good morning.
Good morning. If you feel like you were just voting, you're not imagining it. South Carolina voters are headed back to the polls this morning. This is the third early voting period connected to this Senate seat this year. And this time, voters will be choosing between two Republican nominees in a runoff. The Republican runoff is between Senator Darlene Graham and Congressman Ralph Norman, following the special primary earlier this month. Now, voters who took part in the June Democratic primary cannot vote in the Republican runoff, and those who voted in the June Republican primary or did not vote in either June primary are eligible. Now, you can vote at any early voting center in your county with a valid photo ID.
I don't think necessarily long lines are going to be the issue, but I'm really encouraging voters. Please know where you're going. scvotes.gov. You can check if you're unsure.
Early voting is available today until Friday. The polls are open each day from 8:30 in the morning until 5 p.m. And if you aren't voting early, Election Day is Tuesday, August 25th. And after this runoff, voters will have the chance to vote again in 60 days for an early voting period, which will kick off the November election. Now, whoever wins this runoff will be in the Republican seat facing Democrat Dr. Annie Andrews in November. Reporting here in the newsroom, Genevieve Lund. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Genevieve. President Trump is set to hold a rally this Friday on Myrtle Beach. The president has endorsed Darlene Graham in her bid for the U.S. Senate seat. Another stop was scheduled in the upstate that same day, where the president would appear with both candidates, but that has been postponed.
On a local level, we now know who's running to be the next mayor of Hilton Head Island. Current mayor Alan Perry is looking for his second term in office. The lifelong Hilton Head Islander is taking on the slogan, "Our Island, Our Community, Our Future." He's being opposed by businessman Dave Ferguson, Palmer Simmons, who's a prominent Native Islander, and Skip Hoagland, an outspoken critic of the administration. Hoagland, though, may not be on the ballot long because the elections board ruled he didn't live on Hilton Head. He has until Election Day to change that.
In Georgia, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger has announced the dates of a special primary for district attorney in the Atlantic Judicial Circuit. The primary is November 3rd in Bryan, Evans, Liberty, Long, McIntosh, and Tattnall counties. This comes after Governor Brian Kemp selected the former district attorney Billy Joe Nelson Jr. to fill the Judicial Circuit branch seat left vacant by the retirement of Chief Judge Robert L. Russell III. If needed, a runoff will be held December 1st. For details on elections in Georgia and South Carolina, head to our website, WSAV.com/electionHQ. 9 minutes after